This energy distinction came up recently in a reading that I was doing with someone, and it's that energy, the difference between doing something from a place of proving yourself, of standing in your firmness, versus the energy of standing in your confidence and your worthiness and knowing that this is who I am and this is how I interact with the world around me, and I don't have to prove anything to anyone. So today we're going to talk about the energy and how the energy that we hold impacts both our experience of a situation as well as the impact that we have and that our energy has on others, and how that can work for us or against us. And I have noticed, especially while I was sitting with this concept and with this thought in preparation for this video, I've noticed that this energy of proving unfortunately seems to sit with people who have been marginalized in one way, shape, or form. And so I want to be clear that I'm not sharing this information from a place of we have to change how we interact in order to make others feel better. This is actually an empowering energy that really helps us to be more of who we are, as well as achieve and interact with the world in a way that really elevates us and our energy and makes us feel better about ourselves. So it's not so much about making others feel comfortable. It's actually, although that is a side effect of it, it actually is impactful for our experience of our life, and we end up getting the benefit as well as others getting the benefit. So what does this energy of proving look like? Where is it coming from? How does it show up? And the energy that I'm speaking of here is a confrontational energy. And I seem to notice it from a marginalized place as well as from a wounded place. It's that energy of, you've told me that I can't, so let me show you. Let me prove that I can do this, and you were wrong. It is a, I'm right, you're wrong. It is also a catalyzing energy. So a lot of people can be very successful using this energy because it is a forward moving, driving, pushing type of energy. It does catalyze forward movement because you have something to prove. You have a need to show yourself. You have a need to show the other person that they are wrong, or the situation can't pull you down, and that you can fight. It is a confrontational fighting energy. At least that's the one that I'm talking about when I've seen this energy show up in a reading or experienced it with another person in my life. Or let's be honest here, I have also used this energy in my life. So I am speaking from personal experience as well. It's also this energy of you're either with me or you're against me. It doesn't allow space for a differing of opinions or perspective. It's an I'm right, you're wrong, or I'm doing this, and if you're not coming with me, then I have no space or capacity, or I don't even want you around me kind of energy. So it doesn't have, it's a very black and white. It doesn't have an allowance for other perspectives or other experiences or other viewpoints to come or to just be around in general. And so with that, I want to offer you a moment now to reflect on either an experience that you've had with another person who has interacted from a place of that energy, or if you yourself recognize that that energy really has shown up in certain interactions that you have. And again, I want to be clear here, this isn't that the energy isn't useful. it can and it does have a forward driving energy. And so it does create a situation where you have probably created achievements from this place. I know that I probably have too. So it's not that it doesn't have a purpose or that we haven't used it with a purpose. So I'm not wanting you to reflect and like scold yourself for using this energy. It's probably served you. Or that other person, it might have served them, but you kind of had the fallout of it. So take a moment to reflect on your experience with this energy, personally or with someone else. Now let's take a look at what the energy of worthiness looks like, feels like, or how I would describe this energy of worthiness, or this is who I am confidence. So it's just that. It is a confident energy. It has boundaries. It will say no to that doesn't serve it. It comes from this place of, this is who I am. This is how I interact with the world around me. This is what I stand for. This is the energy that I show up with, and this is how I expect the other side or how the interaction to play out. This is what I will allow into my energy, and this is how I present my energy to others. So again, with those boundaries and with that, it's kind of a quiet, subtle confidence, but that confidence comes from a place of worthiness. Now, because it doesn't have something to prove, this worthiness energy can hold space for others' experiences or perspectives or differing viewpoints. It doesn't require agreement. It allows for the gray to exist, and it still has those boundaries that says, well, that's great, but we can disagree on that, and that's okay. Or, oh, you're not willing to respect my boundaries, so I am going to be removing myself from this situation. So now I invite you to take a moment and reflect on this energy of worthiness, of quiet confidence, either in an interaction that you've had with another person or with yourself and how you've shown up into an interaction. And just take a few moments to reflect on that. It could be now or it could be after this video. And then I want you to take a moment to reflect on how successful each energy has been for you or for the person that you were interacting with. So take a moment to not just notice how you have shown up in either one of those energies, but also the success of it. How have you felt coming out of that situation or out of that interaction or out of that achievement? Now, let's take a look at shifting our energy from that of proving to that of worthiness. And again, this isn't about altering ourselves for the benefit of others. This is about our experience and how we and our energy interacts with the world around us and how we can make that smoother and more beneficial for ourselves as well as for those that we're interacting with. So as always, the first step is to notice, to reflect, to bring awareness to, and without judgment. I actually have a really old, probably cringy video, I haven't watched it in a very long time, about noticing without judgment. So as much as I don't want to bring attention to like the really old videos of mine, I will link that one at the end because it might help here. Also, the Maya Angelou quote of when we know better, we can do better really does come into play here. Until we bring awareness to something, it's really hard to make changes and to do better and to show up differently for ourselves. So as you bring this awareness to these interactions, have compassion and be gentle with yourself. Again, usually this proving energy is coming from a place of wounding, a ancestral lineage, a history, a past life trauma. It can be so many things. It can be a childhood wound. So allow yourself to hold space for the hurt, hold space for the pain that created the dynamic, that created the need to prove. You may actually need to do some deeper work on that. It could be on your own, depending on what it is and where you are on your journey. It could also be with a practitioner that you love and trust. I am not a counselor, a therapist, or a psychologist. However, if you are looking for energy work or a coach, you can find the information in the description box below on how to book a session with me or a coaching relationship. So next, I invite you to bring awareness to the desired outcome and the difference between the outcome and the desired outcome of that interaction or of that experience. Now, as I said earlier, you may have actually succeeded using this energy, or that other person may have succeeded using this energy of proving. And I invite you to reflect on how that felt. Did it feel energized? Did it feel good? If you did succeed, did you have to go it alone? Or if that energy exchange didn't lead to the success or the outcome that you were looking for, what was the gap? What was the challenge? What was the barrier, the wall? What failed in that situation? Where can you learn from? And now I invite you to take some time to reflect on shifting the energy from this proving, pushing energy to that energy of standing in your quiet confidence of your worthiness. How would it change the interaction? How would it change the approach? And I know there's only so much work we can do on our own. My card just did something weird, so I kind of lost my flow, but I'm going to try and pick it back up again. So as I think I was saying, it's one thing to do this work yourself and to figure out your own side of the fence per se, but it's something different to do the work in interaction with others. So there's kind of a guideline that I like to use personally, and I like to share it whenever I can. And I think it fits this part of this video perfectly. So this is my own personal guideline for doing the work. I first reflect on, is this my lesson to learn? Is this for me? Is this my work? Or is this the other person's work? And I find this first reflection to be super empowering. I either have the opportunity to take it on myself, or I can say, ooh, not my circus, not my monkeys. From there, then we move forwards. The first option is, if it is the other person's work, do you want to be part of it? Because you have that choice. If it is my lesson, if it is my work, is this the situation? Is this the environment that is most conducive for me doing this work? And then proceed as necessary. So recognize if it's someone else's work to be done and assist them if you so choose. Recognize that it's someone else's work to be done and choose to remove yourself from participating in that work. Recognize that it's your lesson, your work to be done, and proceed within that situation or that environment. Or recognize that it's your work, your lesson, and recognize that this isn't the environment to do that work in. Remove yourself from that environment or that situation and proceed to do the work in another capacity, because trust me, it will make itself known and you will be confronted with it in another way. So that doesn't mean that you have to do it in that situation. Just know that if it is yours, it will move with you to another environment and another situation, and you can proceed with doing that work or learning that lesson in a more conducive environment. Because it is one thing to do the work independently and personally and for yourself, and it is a completely different animal to do the work in interaction, in relationship with other humans. And it's likely that these lessons continue to come up and they continue to be nuanced and worked through. So continue to hold that gentle, caring space for yourself, or use a practitioner to assist you in walking through this. This energy can be ancestral, it can be lineage work, it can be past lifetime work. So definitely have patience with yourself as you move forwards and as you step through it. So let me know down in the comments section how this awareness of an energy of proving versus an energy of worthiness has impacted your experience, your life, and if this is a new concept for you, or if you've experienced something similar, you've had an awareness that's similar to it, and how you've worked with that energy shift, or how things have shifted for you as you have shifted the energy from proving to worthiness. As always, it really does help with the YouTube algorithm for you to give the videos that you like a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe button and that notification bell. Share it out to your community if you find this information helpful. And if you are looking for someone to do some of this work with you, again, I am not a counselor, therapist, or psychologist, but if you are looking for a coach or an energy worker, please do click the link in the description box, and I have a variety of offerings that we can work together on this type of work. So with that, I will see you in the next video.